Tim James here, your chemical-free health coach, founder of chemicalfreebody.com. I am more than excited today. I'm here with my one of my best friends, Charles Arnell. This was the beginning, basically, of Chemical Free Body way back in the day. So Charles was the impetus for me to basically open my eyes and heal myself. And we're going to go through his story today, or our story, and how that came about. So basically, it was in the fall of, it was about the fall of 2010.
Correct.
When you kind of broke the news to me about you getting cancer. So
Yes.
how did you find out that you had cancer?
I was going through a routine physical for life insurance.
Yeah.
I was trying to get super preferred because I thought I was pretty healthy, and then did a little analysis. They saw that my blood pressure had creeped up, and I was starting to get those normal aging male type of things.
Yeah.
So I went on a health detox to try and improve my numbers, and part of it, they did a full blood workup and walked out of there with cancer.
Yeah.
It was kind of a shocker. Not totally unexpected, and I thought I was living a fairly healthy lifestyle up to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so Charles invites me over to his office, breaks the news to me that he's got cancer. This is coming right off of losing a friend of mine on my baseball team to cancer after chemo, radiation, and standard Western medical routes. So I thought Charles was pretty much toast, because my whole experience in my life had been, you know, my grandma got brain cancer, she dies. My aunt gets skin cancer, she dies. My younger brother actually got skin cancer, but they removed it, and he ended up passing away from a mountain biking accident, which was another impetus for me to do this. But so I thought that that's what happens. You get cancer and you're pretty much toast. So Charles breaks the news to me and then decides to go to the Hippocrates Health Institute, because your wife Judy had been there before.
Yeah.
And she told me she went originally like 20 years ago just to lose a few pounds.
Oh, it was more like 30 years ago at this point.
Yeah, a while back. And so you decided, you did your research online, and you decided to go to Hippocrates, and then you asked me to go with you to support you, and I did. Didn't know what I was getting into.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so why don't you tell them why you picked Hippocrates rather than going with like the standard medical route?
Well, I was fortunate to know that Hippocrates existed, which is a big plus. You know, the fact that I went there first was helpful.
Yeah.
Most people go there after other things have failed them, and they're still wanting to live, and they're still scared.
Yeah.
So I had put in the back of my mind when I first heard about it, well, if I ever get some bad news, I'm going to commit and submit myself to that.
Yeah.
So that was good news. But I also had watched a few people, such as my wife, pretty much defy aging and extremely healthy, and it impressed me. But it takes a little bit of sacrifice, and up front you feel a little pain, but then the rewards are lifelong.
Yeah.
So that's ultimately, I'm just really glad I knew it existed, so that when I got some scary news, I knew where to go, and it really helped me shape my plan of attack.
Yeah. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Hippocrates, they are a 60-year-old, they call it an alternative health institute. It should be mainstream. They basically just plug you back into nature. They show you how to remove all the man-made chemicals from your life, from shampoos to the water you drink to the clothes you're wearing, and then they help you put good nutrition into you that's basically been farmed out of our soil, and then build up your immune system. That's like the whole goal there, is build up immunity and let your immune system heal you over a 2 to 3 year period. So that's what we did. So we showed up at Hippocrates, and there was no meat, no dairy, no salt, no sugar, nothing cooked over 118 degrees, which for me, growing up on a farm and hunting and fishing my whole life, was a major step. But I thought, oh my God, I was actually freaked out when we got there, when you told me that, because I had never not had meat like every day of my life.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, this is for Charles. He's got cancer, my God. We'll just, it's just for a week or so. I'll make it, I'll eat salads or whatever. And, going there, a lot of people don't know, but I had major health issues that I was basically ignoring, and I was fat, 30 pounds overweight, skin issues, digestive tract issues, acid indigestion. I was basically pooping rocks. I had blood coming out. It was pretty gross. I didn't tell anybody about it. Night sweats. Sometimes I wasn't sleeping well, fatigued, and just had an organ removed. I had some major gastrointestinal issues, but I was fine, right? I was just like everybody else. So when I went there with Charles, it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because I was able to actually turn all of that around in a very quick time. But you know, we want to focus on you. So you get this incurable cancer diagnosis. You decide to go to Hippocrates. So basically, you took responsibility for your own health.
Yes.
Had some people supporting you, like me and your son-in-law Adam, and your wife, of course, Judy, was supporting you. And we go there. We learn all this stuff about cleansing and detoxing and good nutrition. And it was like, what, a week into it, and we were feeling amazing.
Yeah, I mean, cancer is it's heavy on the mental part too. You know, if you're not suffering from major pain, you know, cancer for me was almost like a mental challenge. You know,
Yeah.
You've been told, you know, like they said at Hippocrates, it's like you have a gun to your head. The next move is up to you. And it gave me a path forward. You know, gave me something I could do to better my circumstances. You know, as opposed to waiting for someone to administer something to me or try their best to cure me. Put me in control, which I'm that kind of person. I like to try. I like to drive forward. I like to be in control. And, you know, this was something that, you know, I feel like in my heart of heart, I kind of gave it to myself, whether I exposed myself to chemicals or toxins or poor diet or whatever. It's up to me ultimately to remove it, you know.
Yeah.
And when you have blood cancer like I have, it's not a tumor. It's all over. Yeah. Every cell in my body has cancer. So I just listened to what they said, took it wholeheartedly, and embraced it. I became a better person by kind of breaking myself down to saying, you know what,
right.
I've failed myself health-wise. At this point, I need to change my path.
Yeah. So we go to Hippocrates, we get on their program. I commit to Charles after 7 days, had my own breakthrough, went through a massive detox, felt amazing after about 5 days into the program. I remember walking back after having our wheatgrass shots and our green drinks, and then we're like walking back to the villa, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like 20 years younger. I knew you were gonna make it. I'm gonna commit to you. I'm gonna give up meat. I'm gonna give up dairy. I'm gonna commit to you. We're gonna grow these sprouts and juice them, and by God, you're gonna win this deal. And that's exactly what happened. We came back, we continued the juicing, we continued the plant-based lifestyle, cut pretty much all sugar out of the diet, and the wheat and the gluten and the dairy products, obviously. And he started healing up really fast. His white blood cell counts started trending down every 6 months. They were dropping, and it was a little over 2 years, and you were back to normal levels. And
yeah, it's called indolent. So I mean, they're not quite normal, but they're not moving up. You know? So they look at my cancer. They look at a doubling effect, like how many times are you doubling, and I haven't yet. So
yeah.
I would say, you know, my engine runs a little bit hotter than the average engine, but it's, you know, as long as you keep the oil topped off, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah. And the other epic thing that happened for us was you decided to run a marathon before you were even considered, you know, cancer-free or whatever, because you were feeling so good. Why did you want to do that?
I think with cancer, you get a lot of empathy and sympathy sometimes, and I didn't want people to feel that way about me. You know, I felt like I was taking control, I was in control, and, you know, curing this. And so I wanted to prove to myself, to the people who love me, and to my son, that, you know, I was healthy.
Yeah.
And I was better than I was before, even, you know, with the cancer diagnosis. So it was more of the whole mental thing.
Right,
you know,
right.
I wanted to, you know, I always say this when I'm training. I'm like, it's hard to get sick when you're training for a marathon. You know, it's hard to feel sad. You know, when you're able to run and
when you have a goal.
Yeah, and you know, it was a mental challenge. I mean, the physical part is definitely real, but I just wanted to prove to myself. You know, and this year I'm running my 4th and my 5th one. So, you know, 7 years into cancer, and I've done 5 marathons. So it's a better story than. You know, most.
Well, I remember when you called me and said, hey, why don't you run this marathon with me? And I was like, how far is that? You know, it's 26.2 miles. I was like, well, yeah, I went to Hippocrates. I'll juice. I'll get off of meat. I'm feeling awesome. I'm healing myself too, but I'll support you. I'll grow sprouts, but I ain't doing that deal. Yeah. And then a couple months later, you know, I just heard my dad in the back of my head, finish what you start. So I called Charles up and said, hey, you still doing that marathon thing? Oh, yeah. Training tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'll run it with you. And then I remember you go, oh, great, because it's really boring. All we do is run.
It does get boring, but I find now it's a meditative thing, you know. And 7 years later, I'm training still, and, you know, it's a blessing, really.
Yeah, it's a good.
I'm happy
some
to do
peace.
it.
You
Yeah.
can meditate while you're running.
Yeah, and you're outside, you're breathing in the air, which is part of the detox, right?
Yep,
you know,
part of
you're
the detox.
I'm watching the sweat come on through my shirt, you know, and I'm like,
Pushing the toxins
there goes
out.
the chemicals, and I'm breathing in
Yeah.
and forcing a lot of oxygen exchange. So it's
Yeah.
it's part of the healing process.
Yeah.
And with any marathon, it's not the marathon itself; it's the 300 miles of training you run together.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that was, like I said, one of the most epic moments in my life because after committing to Charles to run the marathon, we just started training, and then in 2012 we finished the 2012 Portland Marathon together. I ran right by his side. We crossed the finish line together, and that was a pretty cool moment. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So now here we are. You know, you get a cancer diagnosis. You're scared. You decide to take responsibility for your own health. You go to an alternative health institute. You still kept your foot over in the Western medical door, though, for diagnosis and stuff like that. And then, basically, you end up healing yourself. You run a marathon, and now here we are, going in our 7th year now of plant-based diet, juicing, cleansing. What's life like now for you?
Well, it's interesting because when I talk about what I did to people, I reflect on the things I do on a daily basis that are different now. You know, everything from I have a hot tub and a cold tub that I do plunges on every morning. I dry skin brush. You know,
Smart.
The way I go to the bathroom, everything is different. And I think on the average morning, you know, including like my lemon water, I'm probably doing 10 things before I walk out the door that are health-minded.
Yeah.
And before I start my day. You know, that's even,
rather than a donut and coffee.
yeah, so it's like it's become part of my life, and it doesn't, you know, I have a fantastic, you know, energy, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. In fact, the older I get, the more grateful I am, you know.
Yeah.
I was out there doing, you know, headstands on my surfboard, surfing, you know, at 50, you know, not many 50-year-olds are pulling that off, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing. So in many ways, the cancer woke me up, you know, the apathy was gone, and the living started.
Yeah. So for people out there, Charles, that currently have cancer, what would be your best advice you would give them?
Ask yourself why you want to live, not just you're afraid of dying. Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are afraid of dying, but you know what? You ask them why they want to live. You know, I wanted to do it for my son. I wanted to do it for my family.
Yeah.
I want to do it for me. You know, but sometimes me isn't enough. You know, a lot of us are willing to sacrifice ourselves, you know, to benefit other people, especially as a parent or as a husband. But when
or a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would have been able to do this without you going through this.
Yeah, so you gotta
I did
find,
it for you, basically, you know.
Define your why and make sure it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then think about it all the time as you're doing these things, you know, and don't try and change everything at one time. You know, it's a slow process. It took me 6 months or more to wean off of certain things, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll slip back occasionally, and I know every vegan living food person does. And then you know, you find a reason to get back focused. But in general, if you look back over a couple years, hopefully you've made a ton of progress.
Yeah.
And it's not overnight. And it's not easy, but anything in life worth having isn't.
Yeah, it's not the take a pill and tomorrow you're better program.
No.
It's a lifestyle, guys. It really is a lifestyle. It's changing your life so that you.
But I want one more thing is that also the mental clarity and the happiness that you get from being in control and not living in fear. You know, because almost everybody who hears my story, you see the fear in their eyes, like what's going to happen to me, you know. You know, the only thing I fear about is, you know, getting hit in my car, you know, or crashing my airplane or something, you know, that would be tragic nonetheless. But I don't fear health. I don't fear heart attack. I don't fear stroke. I don't fear all these other diabetes, you know, where I got tons of employees that suffering from these things, you know, and their life is living. They're only living at half.
Yeah.
You know, they're ill, unhappy.
And you're not fearful now because you understand how the body works.
Yeah.
You understand about the chemicals. And you know how to get them out. And you understand about the lack of nutrition in the soil.
Yeah.
And you know how to put it in.
It's all really simple. I'm not doing anything that isn't already happening in nature. And,
Yeah.
you know, people will always ask me, you know, what about this? What about that? I'm like, if you can't, you know, see it in nature, if you don't see it happening without sales, marketing dollars and salesmen, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's someone trying to push you in a direction that benefits them.
Yeah.
You know, and they entice you with sugar and sweets or nicotine or whatever it is, caffeine.
Yeah.
But that's not really the way you should be.
Okay, now we've talked about people with cancer. Let's talk about those of you out there that don't have cancer, maybe don't think you're sick yet. Unfortunately, 80% of Americans are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. 70% of our children, same show. 57% of people alive today, right now, will contract cancer in their lifetime, and that number keeps going up every year, 58, 59. And very shortly, it'll be as common as a cold. So if you've ever had a cold before, very shortly, that's how many people are going to have cancer. So for those of you interested that are waking up and seeing that everybody has cancer today around us, and want to prevent that, what would be your words of advice for somebody that's not, you know, back against the wall, gun against your head right now? What should they do?
Open your mind up, open your eyes up, educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know that chemotherapy is called therapy for a reason, because it's not a cure.
Yeah.
Okay, they try. They run it through your system, and they hope that some result will yield either a slightly longer life or a slightly lower count, but it's not the cure. Your body is a healing machine, and stop poisoning it and let it heal. You know, just like when you cut yourself a scab, there's a million things that are happening immediately to make that cut go away.
Right.
But if you just keep ripping the scab off every day, you know, then something else is going to happen too.
Yeah.
You know, your body will heal itself amazingly fast if you just quit damaging it and allow it. You know,
Awesome.
And that's just simple stuff.
Awesome.
Simple.
Well, buddy, it's really hard for me to shoot videos with him because I get really emotional about it. So, but I just want to, you know, I always want to thank you for inviting me to support you.
Hey, thanks for coming. You were there for me.
Yeah, it was awesome. Sorry, but it literally, you know, your challenge in life affected me so much that I was able to, you know, not only heal myself, but yeah.
It's all right, buddy. You've done a good job. You've been a magical influence on my life and other people. Thank you.
But you know, to get this message out to other people, so they don't have to go through, you know, what you went through, what my grandma went through, what my aunt went through, with the cancer, what my buddy Calais went through. There are other options out there, and they're so freaking simple. Yeah. This is not rocket science.
Water.
Yeah, drinking water. I mean, it changed your life. It's like the first part of my coaching program. I just get people to drink water, and their life is going to improve. Unfortunately, we have to purify it now. But anyway, I can't thank you enough.
Hey.
I'm so glad you're doing well. You were able to see your son graduate high school, which was a major goal for you. You were able to go hang out with him at Father-Son weekend down at Oregon State University. Another major goal for you. You picked up guitar. You started
singing.
Yeah, it's something he wanted to do. He'd been talking about all these years. He gets cancer. He beats cancer. And now it's like, once you beat cancer, you're like, bring it on. You know, it's like living life for the day. Like, I'm living my life right now today. I'm enjoying today. I'm enjoying my time with Charles right here, right now. I wouldn't want to be any other place. Playing the guitar, taking singing lessons.
Flying airplanes.
Flying, got his commercial pilot's
Surfing,
license.
Scuba.
All the things that he wanted to do, he finally just made it happen because he realized that life on Earth is so short and it's so precious, and you want to maximize it. So again, thank you so much for your time here today. I just know that this message is going to change thousands of lives out there, and you guys just have to understand that you're not alone in this. We're all in this together. It's something that you really just need to love yourself enough to make changes, and then hopefully plug into groups like us, plug into Chemical Free Body. You know, check us out on our website. We've got products that come from nature that can help you clean out your gut. If you're busy and you don't have time to fly to a Hippocrates Health Institute and you want to improve your health a little bit, we've kind of taken that model and made it convenient for people in busy work situations, busy family situations where you don't have a lot of time on your hands because everybody's so maxed out. You know, get our cleansing products, clean out your gut, start drinking lots of water, chew your food until liquefied, take some of our Green 85 formula, replace the nutrition's missing in the soil. You know, take digestive enzymes when you eat, liquefy your food with that stuff, and put in some good probiotics into your body, and you will be shocked how fast that you can turn your health around and start feeling better. And then you'll have that spark of life up in you so that you want to make those choices, you want to exercise, and you want to start, you know, preparing some foods and learning how to do some other things that are healthful. So all right, guys, that's it for today. And as always, you deserve to have amazing health. Why wait any longer? Get over here and join us. Join the chemical-free movement today and check us out at chemicalfreebody.com and start changing your health. And one by one, as we change ourselves and improve ourselves, we affect other people, and then that will affect other people. That's how we're going to change our community and this world we call home. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you guys again real soon. Are you ready? I can do this!